How many people in this room live and work in a green building? Ooh, I see one hand. I know I certainly don't. And to be entirely frank, I didn't even know what a green building was up until a few years ago. I thought solar panels, a green roof, maybe a green wall. Now granted, I fell into this space because I was trying to find tangible solutions to the climate crisis. Did you know buildings contribute almost 40% to energy-related greenhouse gas emissions? Now, it's a mouthful, so translated to human speak, that means that the energy that it takes to warm and cool our homes, and the energy that it takes to turn on the lights, and the energy going into our buildings when they were constructed, all of that's really coming from fossil fuels, and all of that is contributing to climate change significantly. So for us to reduce the climate impact, we have to think about reducing the impact of buildings. And the good news is, the solutions already exist. When we think about climate innovation, we think energy, transport, excitement, batteries, and a lot of unknowns. But buildings, four walls, electricity, running water, cooling and heating. That's kind of it. And the solutions are all available. So the solution must be simple, right? Implement what we know, scale it, done. I wish it was that simple, but it's the year 2022. One person put their hand up that they live and work in a green building, and yet green buildings have been around for over 30 years. Currently, market penetration is around 5%, and that's probably a stretch. Why? It took me a while to figure out. I have the privilege of working around the world on green buildings. I talk to developers in Thailand, China, Mexico, Brazil, the UAE, the UK, and one of the things that I noticed is that I have the same conversation. No matter who I speak to, where they're from, what expertise they have, what skill sets, it's always the same conversation. Green buildings are expensive. Green buildings are complicated. I'm not really sure what to do. Now this really perplexed me. How is it possible that a developer in the UK and Nigeria, for example, were having the exact same issues? Aren't the markets different? Aren't the costs different? Isn't the workforce different? Surely something should be different. And then it clicked. One word. Perception. There is still a market perception that green buildings are expensive, luxury goods. Just like I thought when I came into the space, people think green buildings are solar panels, that they are green roofs, that they are green walls. And as long as that market perception exists, green buildings at scale are going to be impossible because they're still inaccessible. So what do? Simplification, democratization, and vision. There are many different things you can do to a building to make it green. You can change the window size. You can change the color of the paint. You can install efficient cooling or heating systems. You can add solar panels if you want. Now the list is certainly longer than that, but the thing is, it's a finite list. There's only so many things you can do to a building to make it green. 50 things, 100 things, maximum. But that's it. So let's simplify the narrative. Let's turn it from it's complicated to build green to here's a list of everything you can do to your building to make it green. People simply need to know what do they need to do, what's the cost of getting it done, and what are the short and long-term benefits. Making something complicated doesn't add prestige and value. It simply makes it inaccessible to the majority of people and therefore less likely to be adopted at scale. So let's make the information available and accessible because we know what it is and we know that information, have known it for a long, long time. People are still paying a lot of money to consultancies to get access on how to be sustainable, and that shouldn't be the case. That's not where value lies from the consulting perspective, and making that information inaccessible means that it's much, much harder for us to actually transition to a sustainable future. There's lots of initiatives out there in the market that are really trying to help. There's different briefings and guidelines and recommendations. There's free software tools like the Edge app. The Edge app was created by IFC. It's funded by the UK government. It literally has a list of everything you can do and all the costs that it takes globally. But it's not just about information. It's not just about making things accessible. It's also about vision. Human beings need to believe. They need to believe that something is possible for it to drive change, because it's our thoughts and beliefs that are driving action. And we never envisioned a world where every building could be green. The idea that the nursery down by the street, the social housing development, your local hospital, the little supermarket around the corner could be a green building simply wasn't in our mindset. But it is possible. Every building can be green. We have the solutions. And with a little bit of willpower, we can truly transform the built environment in our lifetime. And so today, I leave you with a mission. A mission to take this idea that every building can be green, no matter what it is, no matter how old or new the building is, and no matter where the building is. Take the idea and spread it. And I guarantee you, 5 years from now, the next person standing on this stage asking how many people live and work in a green building, there's going to be a lot more hands that go up.